Good afternoon, so my name's Carlton Smith. I'm the Chief Exec of Bradford Trident. We're a community anchor organisation for Little Horton. Little Horton is based just south of Bradford city centre, and we're the second most deprived ward in the Bradford district. So we have households with very low income, schools with not great attainment but better than they used to be, general high levels of poverty, low educational attainment. It's not a rough area, but it's an area with history, and it's not rich. That's the key bit, really. But we are rich in social capital. We have a very engaged community and a lot of interest and cooperative action happening in the area. So our mission at Bradford Trident is to make Little Horton a welcoming place where families can be active, healthy and thriving. And so that's what we're all about. So Little Horton and surrounding area, very much our focus. So we're the love child of two Jags, Prescott and Gordon Brown. We were born out of the New Deal in the Communities programme back in 2000, which Bradford Council were very heavily involved in at the time. And they secured the government grant for £50 million over 10 years to regenerate Little Horton area. That money was spent on community rooms in schools, clearance of some of the slum areas, bringing pockets of land together that could then be developed, more police presence to help tackle the crime issue and drugs issue in the area, sports provision, youth provision, and enterprise support. A key bit that has led to Bradford Trident's later success, I feel, is the governance arrangements they put in through that New Deal in Community. So they formed a board of 15 people, quite a large board, still is, but they're all local residents and they're brought in from a range of fields and expertise. So there's youth, education, health, faith forum representatives, local business representatives, a couple of the councillors and community members more generally. So they're all local residents and very much reflect our local population. And they've done a great job. They've come and gone a bit through the years in the membership, but they've steered quite a good course for Bradford Trident. So we became a charity in 2005, I think, and some of the assets that were created through the New Deal in Community were put into Bradford Trident to manage on behalf of the community. So we've got 6 community buildings that we operate and manage, 2 community centres, sports centre which we got later as a community asset transfer, a health and children's centre, an enterprise centre and an industrial block that we just rent out. So we've got 38 different tenants which range from statutory services, so GPs and some health services, quite a few private businesses and a lot of VCS organisations we host. So they've got their offices in the area. So that gives us quite a stable tenant mix, so we don't get a great deal of flux in our tenants. And that used to give us a really good independent income source. Where we went wrong a few years back is that we included fuel and lighting in the rent. So with the recent fuel hikes, that has eroded or increased our costs. So we're not making quite the return on the buildings as we used to. Anyway, that's a slight side. So that's who we are and where we come from. So since 2010, we've shifted from that sort of regeneration focus, spending lots of other people's money, to becoming a community service delivery charity. And we now operate 10 different community services, which I have to write down, so I always forget one. So we've got a preschool nursery, an active travel hub, thanks to sponsor from West Yorkshire Combined Authority. We're part of the Bradford Play Partnership, so we're delivering play for young children in local parks. We've got the Parkside Sports Centre. We've got a contract with Bradford Council for enterprise support in partnership with the Impact Hub. We're the grant holder for the Better Start Bradford programme, which is another 10-year, 50 mil lottery-funded programme to give 0 to 4-year-olds the best start in life, and a big research package off the back of that. We deliver trauma-informed practice workforce training for statutory and frontline groups so they can do trauma-informed practice. We do digital inclusion. We've got a health programme and reducing health inequalities in the area. A lot of work we do around that. And we also run Better Place, where we've put young children's play areas and green space improvements across parks, both in Little Horton, Barker End, Bowling and West Bowling. So we do a wide variety of stuff and pretty much serve the community from conception to death in some form or other. And it's work we're very proud of. So we're very mission focused. We've been around the block a few times. We've managed, large amounts of public finance. So we've got good financial control. We've got a bold and brave board who are happy to take risks, considered risks, and we've got a good track record in engagement with our community. So, social investment. Back in 2013, the council were looking to close the local sports centre, Parkside Sports Centre, which had been opened back in 1960 by Jackie Charlton when he was at the fame of an England captain. It's a centre where a lot of people in Bradford have been and enjoyed over the years. It used to run massive five-a-side football competitions, lots of youth engagement, a real gem at the time in Bradford's sporting architecture. But it's an old building. It'd been messed around with, bits added onto it over the years, and its time had come within the council ownership. So they were looking to rationalise their leisure services and close it down. The local community didn't want this to happen, ran a big campaign to save it, and Trident was approached as a safe pair of hands to operate the asset going forward. The council agreed to that, and it was transferred to us on a 125-year lease, which is pretty unheard of, I think. But it was quite run down and it stayed operational throughout the COVID area, but becoming a food hub. But yeah, it needed a lot of love and care. So we'd invested about £500,000 over the next 6 years into it to keep it ticking over, but it was all behind the scenes stuff, new floor, new boilers and that sort of stuff, nothing very sexy. But during that we did community consultation of what the community wanted from the building going forward, and that was aligned to our own assessment of what the building needed to make it financially sustainable in the longer term. So the community came back that they wanted a wider array of sports on offer. They wanted it as cheap as we could make it, and they wanted it to be more welcoming and accessible to especially women and girls, which was all stuff we were very happy they said, and we embraced those aspirations very much. On a financial side or sustainability side for the building, we recognised that we had limited spaces that we could generate income from at any one time. It's basically just a big hall. So there's only one space that we could let at a time, and to cover the costs of the building, we needed more options to let it simultaneously to bring more money through the building to cover its costs. So we wanted new sporting areas which matched with the increased range of sports that the community were after. About the same time, the England Cricket Board came to us and said they'd identified Little Horton as a priority area for them. There's 20 cricket teams in Little Horton. It's not a big ward, but there's a lot of cricket played. A lot of passion in the community about cricket, and from young children through to people's hips seizing up, lots of people play cricket. So they were interested in helping develop an urban cricket centre, so with 2 indoor cricket lanes for us. So they joined the party and very much expanded our aspirations of what this building could become. So a plan was developed to enhance the sports equipment storage, to increase, put in a gym, put in the cricket lanes, and a dance studio, multi-use classroom. Those plans were put together, and a bill or a figure dropped out at the end of it of how much money we needed to raise to do it all, which initially was about 3 million quid, which was quite eye-watering at the time. So we set about fundraising. I think we wrote over 150 funding bids to various grant givers, and a fair few of those landed, and we managed to secure about £1.5 million of committed money, but we're still way short of where we wanted to be. So the board took the bold decision to look at social investment to try and make up the difference. And it was around that time that the, what was it called? Resilience Recovery Fund became available through the Social Investment Bank. We already had a relationship with the Social Investment Bank because we'd got Community Business Fund from Power to Change, which Social Investment Bank were helping to manage. So they knew us, we knew them. So that all helped with a lot of the due diligence. They already knew about the programme, so explaining all the history of it wasn't so bad. We already had quite a robust business plan and forecast cash flow alongside the improvements, so that all helped. So it was quite speedy to get the resilience funds. It was 400,000 loan and 100,000 grant. So we signed up for that. The first year's interest was covered from the government along with the fees, so that made it quite a sweet deal. And it added to our overall pot that we could then go to other funders and investors to show a credibility and that we were getting close to that end target. With that backing, we then combined with 2 other local charities to do a joint levelling up bid to make up the rest of the money, which we put in with our local MP's blessing. That's quite a torturous process, not the MP, but working with the other charities. Anyway, a deal was struck and a bid went in. It was a good bid, one of Bradford's better ones, but it like most or all but one West Yorkshire levelling up fund bids, it didn't pass the whatever lens the bids were judged against. Anyway, we didn't get it. So we didn't get all the money we needed, and we couldn't build the all singing, all dancing new sports centre or extended sports centre. But we had paid for all the architecture, all the planning permission, the structural surveys, the site surveys, all the stuff that goes with a capital project. The grant and loan helped pay for that alongside the Power to Change upfront investment. So we've still got a ready to go beautiful building, designs, project plan all done, but we haven't got enough money to do it all at the moment, so we're doing a phase one of building all the back side of the site, so the equipment store and improvements to the main hall with the funds we've got. But that did enable us to pay back the loan after the first year, as we hadn't got the Levelling Up fund to complete the package. So it wasn't the journey we expected. It wasn't quite where we wanted to get to, but we're part of the way. It was certainly a very helpful process to go through, particularly the due diligence and the sort of critical friend eye that Social Investment Bank laid over our plans and have helped us to make them better, more robust plans in the end of it all. So that's our social investment story.